You know what it's time for. I don't know if you got 5 on it. I don't know if 6 minutes Dougie Fresh you're on, but it's now time for 7 minutes in heaven.
Okay, so these are our top favorite scenes in V for Vendetta. I'll open it up the way the film opens up. It's such an awesome opening to a movie. First, you have the the comparison between V and Evie. They're both getting ready at the same time, essentially like looking into the mirror as they're a reflection of each other. One of those
paid in full cuts. We were talking about 2 different things happen 2 different times with really good cuts.
Yeah. But the way when here comes the crescendo, boom, and the explosions all over, that was just, it was amazing. And at that moment, I remember the first time I saw the movie thinking, wow, this is the hero.
When didn't you ever think he wasn't the hero?
Oh, I never did, but it's just, you don't, like in typical movies, especially a DC movie, Warner Brothers, and they actually had Parliament blessing to shoot in Parliament.
That's crazy.
For a lot of this. How the Well, I think I read something about Tony Blair's son being working on the production in some fashion, so they may have had some.
Okay. Well, I think you hit it right on the head. For me, it's the same opening scene, but it's different for me the way, and that's why I love film and art and paint and music, because it's always open to interpretation. One of the things I love as soon as we get into the film is, to me, it's all about, and I'll tackle on this day. I mean, the filming. I should say the cinematography in this film is freaking A+ in my mind. I feel like there's a scene where he puts his mask on, and to me, it's just not him. It's symbolic of us bringing us into his world. And for the rest of the film, we're seeing it through his eyes. So to me, it's like he just comes like, oh my goodness, like I'm. It's like, so to me, that's one of the, like.
And even the reveal after he puts his mask on is you seeing yourself in the mirror through the mask.
And again, we'll touch on this later, but the reason why we never see his true face, she says it at the end. He's you, he's us, he's me. Like, I mean, the first time I saw, he's like, he's my father. I'm like, what the f? Yeah. I didn't see that come like.
What about that kiss and the dance?
What did I miss? Jesus. Hey, listen, if you weren't my daughter.
Yeah. That was so, like, she kept going. Like, he's this. He's my dad.
He's you. I was like, man, who the fuck?
He's you.
Right.
And me. And everyone.
I ain't not my, she found another secret room in there or something.
The bees and the...
Yes. I love that. One of the things, like you say, I touched on again the Bailey beam blowing up. But one of the things that, to me, one of the cool things, I always, to me, like to find my own little tie-ins in movies. And you mentioned it. I guarantee you didn't think about it this way till now. This is natural reaction. That you mentioned the speakers and everything blowing up. I loved everything blowing up, but to me, it was the speaker thing that spoke to me. It's like he hacked their speakers and he brought so much joy. The smile on his face only reminded me of one thing. The last time I saw speakers get hacked like that, Andy Dufresne, Shawshank Redemption. When he was sitting there listening, I was like, oh my, I've seen this smile before. He was just here, Dufresne! Dufresne! Boy, I'm gonna get you. Like, I don't give a man.
Yeah. Another scene that I really liked was right after that, really, when V walks into BTN with a bomb strapped to him, and he goes and he broadcasts, like, right after they tried to set the narrative about, no, there was a malfunction, and sorry for the unplanned fireworks, and meanwhile, they've got people that fucking saw the explosion happen, wondering, like, I thought I saw an explosion, but they're saying it's fireworks, like... Okay, that's exactly where we are in the news now.
I would never do this. I'm gonna one time only do this because it goes to your point, and I won't use it later. At that very point, he says, "Our job is to report the news, not fabricate." I'm sorry. Okay, so we both had it. Okay, all right. Go ahead. You finish it. You go ahead.
Our job is to report the news. That's the government's job to fabricate it. Yeah.
That's to your point. Yeah.
That's such a telling thing. But yeah, so they set the narrative, and then V comes in, puts that video up with the speech, the manifesto is so inspiring. telling everyone the truth about the explosions, telling everyone the truth about themselves. Like, look in the mirror, it's your fault.
It's you, right?
Yeah.
Just when you think this is some regular freaking film, and you're like, go get the bad guy. Like, no, it was you that somehow got scared by this, about that, about this, and it's you that he said. And he didn't just say get out tonight and fight. When he had a plan, he said meet me in 365 days.
Yeah.
All right, you got
He's
one.
essentially telling everybody, along with the authorities, where exactly they can find them. But he is so.
And they showed up, man. Oh my, we'll talk about that later.
Right up until the end of that scene where his escape, where he puts the masks on everybody, and like you see, like the guy comes running out in the mask. Don't shoot! Pop, 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 pop. Down. And then they don't even help him. They're like, they just want information. Then they turn around and use him. They use that footage to say, the terrorist is dead. Don't worry. Big Brother has saved you once again.
And speaking of that segue, which leaves it.
But they're the ones that killed civilians, and they take that on the news, use the civilians that they killed to say he came in there killing civilians, and then they use the civilian that they did kill with the mask on to say, but he's dead. Like, they
even say it later in the film. Remember, he was like, tell them anything, make them remember. They were like, oh yeah, V was connected to the St. Mary's. They're like, you never said that. So, but one of the things, what is other 7 minutes in having scenes that really got me when the guy was like, he doesn't even know how to light me right. So like that, when that starts happening, and then he's like, then they show him in the background watching himself, and he started, like, I call it, I came up with a term called mouthing masturbation. He was in the shower mouthing at himself, like literally, I wish I'd been there. Like, I tell you what, if I'd been there, like, what the fuck are you talking about? And rightfully so, he gets what coming to him after. So that is definitely one of my one of the things that I think is easy for people to, like, your advanced film fans will look at it and say, when Evie got took as a kid, it's very similar to when she got took when she was in the house of her savior, the guy always brings not Lubbock. So what was his name? Our guy who had the show.
Diedrich.
So Diedrich, he's hiding her out. And remember, in the beginning, when Evie and when they knocked in and took her parents, they wouldn't have known she was there. Although how not there, and the kids when she went and screamed. That scream is very important, because this time when they black bag Diedrich, she's sitting there, but you see that moment of, now move. They're like that quick little hits. Like, to me, man, you can't. That's right, man. That's somebody like, no, you gotta know you want to do it this time. Yeah. Like that's beautiful to me, man.
Yeah, that scene where they got Diedrich. I'll get into that. That's I got notes on that.
You want to get into that room? We had the pictures. Never mind.
The montage that leads to the girl in the V mask being shot by the cop. That whole montage that leads up to that moment was so. It was just powerful. I think it was more powerful watching it today than it was when I last saw the movie years ago. Just all of the unrest happening, playing out in montage form, and then it ends with that, the girl in the V mask being shot by the cop.
Oh my god!
Which cue the riots now.
Oh my gosh! Did you see what he did? Oh, what did he do after he shot her?
Oh yeah, no,
the badge.
And then get back.
And guess what? The fingerman. It's just the FBI and fingers. And like, it's just so many. It's too many freaking coincidences. You brought that up, and that was actually on here. Like, I mean, to me, you see, I got it over here. Fingermen are ups. Like, the only thing, like, to me, they liken the hand of the law, the authority to, and it's something. Damn, I'm having callbacks now. Like, they likened their whole system was like the chancellor was the head, and all this other stuff. But the fingermen were literally like the fingers in the up part of the body where we never saw a good fingerman. The ones at the front, beginning of the movie tried to rape Evie, and the one at the end just shot a kid because she had the mask on. Kid. But also what I loved about that kid is that this is the same kid they show. Is a great callback, or like you say, early in the film, she's sitting on the sofa with her parents, and when that same scene you brought to when they cut up to it, when they said the terrorist dead, she's like, Bullocks. Yeah, that's what, and so he had that speech inspired her, and that's what the idea. See what I'm talking about? They led you to it. So but the idea moves on because she believed the idea, then. The tip melting point was when, like you said, when she got shot, people were like, you know what, that's enough, it's cool. They just slowly walked to him. He was like, I got a baby, that's cool, you're dying. Like, yes, oh my gosh.
The way that when everybody's watching the television, as when he's like doing the news broadcast, like saying, this country is messed up, we need to do something if you agree with me, you know, blah, 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 blah. Like, everybody's reactions when they're watching that, it was so telling because like, all of these people want to do something.
Mm-hmm.
They're crying for a hero to come and save them, but they're like sheep waiting for the slaughter.
I'm surprised they let this movie come out, to be honest with you. I still am. Rewatching it, I'm like, did they know this out?
Yeah, it's... my last scene that I want to mention is the death of Creedy. That whole moment is so incredible. Where he's like bald. He's got multiple guns pointed at him, and he says, you know,
we've already swept the place. All you guys knives.
It's gonna end with my hands around your neck, and he comes through on that. Everybody in that room dies, including him eventually, and it caps off with that moment with, I don't know if you noticed, when he leans on the wall and walks away, the smudge of blood on the wall is a red V.
Red V. I mean, not to mention, I mean, just honorable mention that clearly there's a lot of people, I mean, how can you not think about the V, the Z, Zorro, the outfit? It kind of gives you a Zorro. Zorro's a man of the people for them. So it's, hey, man, okay, so one of the other things that, okay, we talked about the symphony, you mentioned that, oh, yes, I call that EV squared. One of the things, and this is probably the EV squared, but one of the things I was going to say was, the first time I didn't see it, but I felt like I kind of knew to look for it this time when I watched it in the rewatch. When she escapes Dietrich's house, you automatically know she's with V. If it's a split second, if you see his eyes are through the mask, and that's how you know it's him. Like literally, like as he's before they even like literally when she jumps down and she's like, gotcha. That's him in the mask. Like with everything else, but if you look at just his eyes, you see literally his burnt eyes. So it's like the director did, or it's a split. So you have to catch it. You can't blink. You can't move.
When you're talking about when right after they knock Dietrich on the head and take him, when
right, she jumps out the window, tries to run out. He was like, "Gotcha!" And when he says "Gotcha," it startles you so much, but you don't look at the cutout. You see the burnt eyes. It only could be him. This is not a rumor. This is not a theory. This has been the director's even said it. That's him.
Okay, nice.
Oh. I don't know if I'm correct. I would have been mad because I definitely had that down there. If not all of them, at least the close-ups in the end when she's saying that he's me, he's you, he's all of us. They show all the people that died in the film
when they're like taking the masks off.
Yeah, God help us all, man. That was amazing. I did not even notice that the first time.
Yeah, that was very cool. Almost like it was almost a way of saying that they did not die in vain.
Right, because he's you, he's all of us. That's what I'm saying. He's my mom, he's my dad. Like. God, he lives on. The idea lives on. Just like I really want to know that story. They should. They didn't have to elaborate on it like the first 30 seconds in the film when they were like, this guy tried to blow up this. You know what I'm saying? But they would tell the idea lives on. It's like, damn, man. Then
yeah.
All right, that was 7 Minutes in Heaven. Let us know in the comments what your favorite scenes were in the film. Let us know what we got right. If you think we got something wrong, be sure to let us know that too, because either way it helps us.
That's the trailer.